Hello there, folks. Hey, this quick video today is going to talk about a couple different ways that you can set up a timer. Maybe you've got an application where you want to delay something from happening, or you need to count some kind of time between some functions or so forth. So in this example, what I'm doing here is I'm going to have a program, and I'm going to do a couple different ways here, but I have a program here that's called Timer Ticks. Over here, it's just a program called Timer Ticks. And I have the logic set up that if a tag called ticks is greater than some seconds, then this will return a ticks, will return a 1, and we'll set the timer to 0. Okay? And if that is not true, then down here, I take the ticks and I ask, is it less than the seconds? And if it is, then I continually add up the ticks. Now this program is really written like a function block. It's kind of really cool what I did here. So this program, you can see over here, it's got an X in the green pie here. And what I did here in this program is if I click the edit button right here, I'm telling this program it's going to return an integer value. You have options here, floating point or string, but this one's going to return an integer, which in this case will be just a flag tag because it's going to be a 1 or 0, but integer. And then I'm going to receive, this program receives some kind of number that's going to be called the seconds. Now, when I say receive, you're going to see here, I'll click the OK button. The program gets the name and then parentheses, some tag value here, which internal in this program, I call it seconds. So whatever it is here, it can be some other tag, I'll show you later. But in this program, this word seconds here and here is this first parameter that comes into that program. So that's all I'm doing there. I'm not doing anything over here. Yep. So this program is a function block. And where I'm calling this program is I have another program called main loop. And in the main loop, we're going to have a tag. If I go over here to data tags, you can see I have a flag tag called runMe. If runMe equals 1, then I'm going to execute. I'm going to call this timer delay. I'm going to take a tag called timer delay, which is this guy right here. I'm going to put it in between the parentheses here. So that's going to send it to that program. And then this application is getting ran on tick on the display page. So this whole thing gets called once a second. So if I go over here to display pages, here's my display page. And if I click up here on the word pages on top, on the global tab, you can see here in the OnTick, you can do a function. This is once a second here. So in this case, I'm going to call the main loop program once a second. So again, it's going to call this program. And if the runMe tag happens to be on, then it's going to call this timer function with something here, and it's going to call that once a second. And then once this gets done, it's going to return a 1 to this. That becomes true. Then it will set the timer done equal to 1 here. Otherwise, this is going to return a 0 and not execute this here. So let me go ahead and save this. Let me go ahead and download this to our thing here. I think I got it wrong. Yeah. Yep. So I did make the timer delay a retentive tag, and the flag tag runMe runs the program. I don't believe none of the others are retentive. No, they're not. All right. So let's take a look at this, team. So here's my example. So let's say I put in that I want a time delay of 5 seconds. So I've got that variable right there, 5 seconds. Let me go over here to programs so you can see what we're doing here. Wish you could do online. That would be really cool. But anyway, so 5 seconds is going to be put here, and then that's going to be sent into here, and the seconds in here is then going to be equal to 5 seconds. Notice the word seconds here, or the tag word seconds. You don't see that anywhere over here because that is a local variable that's in this program that gets from the parameter that comes here. So there is no seconds one over here. It's a local variable here in this program. Anyway, let's go ahead and watch this. So if I go ahead and hit the runMe, turn on that, you can see that immediately the ticks start counting. And watch, when it gets to 5, it turns on the bit. Now, of course, the timer keeps counting because I still have the runMe on. I haven't done a reset with that. If I turn this off, you can see that the ticks retains where it was before. And I never did put any logic in here that turns this off, so I could manually turn this off. Now, if I turn it on right now, ticks is going to be at 3. Watch what it does. 3, 4. It didn't wait 5 seconds. It stopped the timer right when I turned this off. So if we wanted to maybe add some additional logic here, anytime this goes off the run me, we should reset the ticks to 0. So we could go over here to the tag, click on this run me, and we could easily say right here, hit the pull down, say active off. And right here in the action field, I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab this, click this edit button here. I'm going to grab the ticks from here and drag it out here. 1 equal sign will assign the value. So I'll do equal 0, enter. Save that. Re-download it. Let's see what happens here, team. All right, let's try this again. It's going to boot up. Okay, so if we turn this guy on, we'll let it go our 5 seconds again here. Boom. There it is. Perfect. Of course, if I turn it off, you can see it reset it this time. Now, I didn't reset this, but that's another. We can do that as well. So this method is one way to do the timer. Again, I like this because this is a function, and it calls this here and does everything. One thing about this, now you can reuse this over and over again, but you can't really use it in the same rung of code, if you will. You could, but it's got to be in a separate instance. So just like in ladder logic, you might have to make this timer ticks _1, _2, _3. You might have to create a new instance of it depending on how your application is. Now, I want to step further with this. I was playing with this idea. I like this idea. This is my preferred method when I'm doing this because I can see the ticks. I can watch things count. There's another way you can do the same thing, and that is you can use the get now function to find out what the real-time clock is in the Redline device, and you can take a timestamp of that, and depending on your seconds, let's say I want to do 5 seconds, I can get the time now, then I add to it some seconds here, and I can go ahead and do the same logic with a kind of a stamp, if you will. So in this case, doing the same thing, main loop down here calls that program, which is this timer get now. All this code right here. You can stop the video if you want to focus on that code. I'm going to go over here to display page, and I just want to show you this option. So if I go to data tags, and I'm going to grab all the tags from this function here, out here like this. I just want you to see what happens here. Of course, the timer, ticks timer is one we just did, so I'll just for giggles, I'll put it right here. I make it pretty with these graphics, but this gives you the same thing here. All right, let me go ahead and save this. Let's download it, team. Let's see what happens here. All right, so once again, we got the time delay at 5. You know what? Let's put it to 7 this time, just so we're different. All right, there we go, 7. So we're going to go ahead and turn this on. Notice it fills in the first scan here, and then it puts in 7 plus that. The finish time is this here. So when that gets over, the done bits get, when this here is matched with the time now, that's when that trigger tab happens. So I like this idea because I continually can see it running, whereas this idea here, it's really just kind of a snapshot. When you trigger it, there goes the logic, and then you just have to wait. So I prefer this method, but that's just my opinion. I've seen people do both ideas. Both are valid. It's up to you. I suppose one could also probably do the same thing at some tag level here based on some conditions, but I didn't work through that. I was trying to keep things in a program form. Anyway, I prefer the timer ticks method, this right here, and that works pretty good. Hey, so thanks a lot, team. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later.